It's all gas, no Monday. Energy on full flame.
Welcome back to another episode of All Gas No Monday. I'm your host Smoke, where we live every day like it's Friday. Today we got a powerhouse guest today. This person has nearly 3 decades of service in the United States Army. He's been leading soldiers and helping build the future of the U.S. Army. He's highly decorated. He has decorations as far as the Legion of Merit. He also is Sergeant Audie Murphy, and he has commanded at every level from platoon all the way to division artillery. I'm talking about today's guest is Sergeant Major Michael McLaughlin.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so
Pleasure to be here.
yeah, one thing I want to say is congratulations on your retirement. You're finally putting down your hat and taking off this uniform. And we want to thank you for your 30 years of committed service to this United States Army.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
no
Thanks,
problem,
thanks,
no problem. Yeah, so Sergeant Major, we want to start off, we always like to start off with motivational questions and everything, just to get the viewers out there to their attention.
Okay.
Okay, so Sergeant Major, you hail from Savannah, Georgia, right?
Seaport.
Okay, all right.
Now
So-
1-2.
So take us back. What inspired you to raise your right hand in 1996 to join the U.S. Army?
Well, it was pretty much, I had an uncle that served in the Navy, and my grandfather who served in Vietnam, retired from the Air Force. They kind of like was the pushing force, but the main thing was my uncle Jaime, rest in peace. He told me when I was a junior in high school, he said, "Hey, if you got no plans when you graduate, join the military.
Sure.
Get yourself set up,
Yeah.
get your good foundation, and then go from there." So I said, "Okay." That's what I did.
And who would have known almost 30 years later,
Yeah.
still wearing the uniform,
Still wearing
and,
the
and
uniform.
now it's time for you to take it off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, was there a defining moment in basic training at Fort Sill that made you realize this was your calling?
Yeah, I would say when I went to basic, and me and another battle buddy of mine, whose our careers are definitely parallel. We came in as the same MOS, but he reclassed. But our careers are parallel. We retiring the same at the same time. We both were selected. I was selected to be the PG. He was selected to be the APG, and we were the only ones out of all the other platoons that never got fired the whole entire time in basic. And that defining moment was when I walked across the stage at graduation, and my drill sergeant had embraced me, didn't shake my hand, but embraced me and whispered in my ear and told me that you're going to be a outstanding non-commissioned officer. And then that's when I knew that I made the right decision.
Oh yeah, that's big ups. If the drill sergeant can see your potential, that speaks highly. Somebody who already that has been in the military for quite some time. That's definitely inspiration. Like I tell y'all, hey, you never know. Somebody might inspire you out there to go for your dreams. Never stop dreaming. So, another question. Your career path, with you being so diverse, right? Your career path lead to roadmap for, because you're artillery. You went from Fort Campbell to Germany, Fort Stewart. You held multiple leadership roles in Fort Sill. Out of all these assignments, which one tested you most as a leader?
Every one of them tested me for sure. I think if I can think, I would say my biggest challenge may have been transitioning from being a platoon sergeant to a first sergeant. I think that was the most challenging, just because I was really hands on.
Yeah.
And it took a minute for me to take a step back and kind of trust my senior NCOs, which it didn't take me that long. It took me about 30 days or so. But I think that was probably my most challenging. If I was to pick another, it would probably be when I first put the stripes on, and I had to separate myself from the what we used to call back in the day was the E4 Mafia,
Yep.
and just having that separation.
Yeah.
Because I never had the privilege to put corporal stripes on. I went straight from a specialist to a sergeant, and then it kind of that was pretty challenging, but we made the best of it.
Yeah, yeah. I can attest to that. Yeah, when I put the stripes on E5, it's that mind shift switch from now you're not no longer the workhorse. Now you're the manager. So we have to be able to flip that mindset on quick. Because if we don't, we get lost in the sauce. That's what they say.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I seen that you wore many hats. You're a driver, radio operator, observer, controller, trainer, platoon sergeant, and now sergeant major. Which role shape your leadership style the most?
Oh man, that's a good one. I would say again, it's just different ranks at different times in my career. Definitely had to change my leadership style a few times because I started off just being in the artillery world was very aggressive. My language was very aggressive, and as I moved up the ranks, then I realized that one, I don't have to yell all the time. I don't have to use vulgar language all the time to get my point across. Just speak, treat everyone with dignity and respect. So as like I said, got older, much more mature, I started tweaking my leadership style to my environment that was going to be an asset to the organization.
Yeah, so those views out there, that's what we call adaptive leadership. You got to be able to adapt in certain different environments. So, we used to the old ways of doing things, but we got to be able to transition our mind frame to another. So, now we talked about leadership. Now we can talk a little bit more about resiliency, right? You're not only just a soldier, you're a resiliency trainer, master gunner. Your philosophy on building resiliency teams, how can you attest to that in a high stress environment?
Well, again, like I stated earlier about my just adapting my leadership style, to the organization. I was always transparent with my soldiers, with my subordinates, peers, and my seniors. Always transparent, and just tell the soldiers, hey, this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it, and we go out and my mindset was always, hey, we train hard and we play even harder at the end of the day. But let's leave everything on the table, have no regrets, and when you lay your head down at the end of the day, are you asking yourself, did you give it all?
Yeah.
And you left it on the table. So.
Yep. So you leaving basically a lasting legacy. Once you take this uniform off, it's not about what you accomplish. It's about, did I leave a lasting legacy for these young up and coming leaders that's coming up in the Army to take your place. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that is motivational. I'm telling you, that's why I tell y'all, treat every day like it's Friday, because you have to be inspired every day you put this uniform on. Even if you're a civilian job, do the best you can do. So if you were to have to give one advice to young soldiers, right, stepping into leadership role today, what would that advice be?
Never violate your integrity.
Oh yeah.
Always keep your integrity. That's the one thing that you should never give away is your integrity. Once you violate your integrity, compromise your integrity, it's very hard. It's very challenging to get it back.
Yeah.
You know, so we have Army regulations, FMs, all that in place for a reason. So if you stick with what's in the black and white, and of course you may have to adapt, but never violate your integrity.
Oh yeah, true testament to that. Like I said, I grew up. I you know can't lie about things. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be truthful because at the end of the day, I want to be able to sleep good at night, right?
Oh yeah,
So you have to get the truth off your chest because if you don't, it will eat you alive.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a true testament. Yeah, I like that integrity, most definitely. So now we're transitioning to your accomplishments, your awards, right? You earned some Army highest honors, the Legion of Merit. You got multiple MSMs, military service medals, and then you got the prestigious Sergeant Audie Murphy, right? Which award means the most personally to you, and why?
I will say the Sergeant Murphy Award,
Okay.
and the reason why is because for me, when I got on that process to achieve that award, the it took me literally a full calendar year to get it.
Hmm.
I went to the board every quarter to compete for that award. I volunteered, but just the recognition of it,
Okay.
what it meant of being a high quality non commissioned officer, and I never wanted to be the one to tell my soldiers, "Hey, you need to go through this to separate yourself from your peers," and I never done it. So I always wanted to be the one to walk the walk and talk the talk. But because I fought so hard for that award, that medal, that's the one that I hold dearest to my heart.
Oh yeah, that's big ups. Sergeant Arden Murphy. I've seen all the stuff y'all had to go through. Yeah, and memorize a long bio. Whew, I don't know how y'all do it. Hey, salute to y'all, cause man, it couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Trust me. So, how do you balance your personal recognitions with the collective success of your soldiers?
For me, um, ever since I put on NCO stripes, I've always been the type that when my section or when my soldiers succeeded, I made sure that they got all the recognition. If we failed, it was me.
Mm-hmm.
I took the bullet, I took the blame, and I was okay. Hey, I failed you in these areas, so we're gonna go back and then we're gonna fix ourselves. Or I'm gonna fix myself. Therefore, we'll come back and then we will go and knock it out. Um, it just I've had like a lot of soldiers throughout my years. Just why are we training so hard? Why are we
Yeah.
doing this? And it's so we can be successful. So you can be successful. And I've had soldiers now that have reached out, that have even been out the army for years, that have reached back out to me, and they communicated to me like, "Hey, Chief, you know, I now understand why you was hard on me because
Yeah.
now this is carry on, or why you took responsibility and things like that." So
Yeah. Yeah. That's big accountability. Holding yourself accountable for your soldiers' actions.
yeah,
Not putting it to the wayside like, hey, it's their fault. No, you like it's my fault. I failed them. So you just continue to make yourself better, and then the ones that's underneath you better. So yeah, that's definitely big ups. Yeah, for real. So now we talked about all your military accomplishments. Now we're gonna get to the nitty gritty, your family and everything, right? So behind every great leader is a strong family, especially in the military with us deploying and going back and forth TDYs and everything. You and your wife Latanya have 8 children and 11 grandchildren. How's your family shaped your journey while you've been in uniform?
well, I would say
Mm,
I truly have to give uh, the credit, all the credit to my wife being as strong as she is,
yeah,
being the foundation, the stability in our household, making sure everything is taken care of, so that way I was able to focus on whatever mission that was laid out in front of me. And then, I come home and literally we had this thing where I would get 20 minutes to vent or talk about my day, and then I'll put it to the side, and then it's focusing on family. And then I have to truly give her the credit
Yeah.
for me being able to make it this long, these 30 years as well.
Oh yeah.
But it's just having that strong foundation, and again, and then that communication that we've always had since we've been married. So, but like I said, I definitely have to give her kudos.
Oh yeah.
For that.
Kudos, Miss Latanya. Yeah, now kudos to my wife too, cause she holds it down. Like, when we went to NTC and when I just got the field 2 weeks ago. So she holds it down while I'm able to come to work and actually do my job. So kudos to you, baby. Thank you. So what legacy do you hope your grandchildren can see when they look at your whole total Army career?
I think, for my grandchildren to look back and say that they're Pepe. That's what they call me, Pepe.
Pepe.
Pepe. Yeah, there's that one, I was always transparent, never violated or compromised my integrity, no matter what. It stood up for what was right, and just that's the legacy that I want them to truly remember.
Okay, that's a long-lasting legacy. And then I'm pretty sure you got memorabilia, all that extra stuff you got at your house. You probably got plaques,
Yeah.
coins, everything. So they're going to remember your career and how that you had a lasting impact on every duty station that you touch. So that's definitely big up.
Yeah.
So before we get out of here, I got to ask the question, right? I ask everybody this question that's on my podcast. What does all gas, no Monday means to you?
All gas, no Mondays. It's like you stated earlier. Treat every day like it's Friday.
Yep.
And you just gotta live life to the fullest.
Oh yeah.
You gotta live life to the fullest. Enjoy each moment.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to add also is one of the things that kept me going strong for these 30 years is I never had a bad day in the military. I had bad moments.
Moments, yeah.
I wouldn't allow a situation to consume my whole entire day. I'll give it 60, maybe 120 minutes,
Okay.
and then deal with it, and then move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, all gas, no Mondays.
Yeah. All gas, no Monday. That's that's the
this
motto,
is great. Yeah.
So yeah, we appreciate you coming on the platform. Telling your story. This is a long-lasting impact. Hopefully somebody out there, can feel inspired or motivated to carry on. Even if it's 20 years or 30 years, just keep going with your dreams. Even if it's once you take the uniform off, you got other ambitions to do something else. So, we just want to make sure that they hear your story and they're like, okay, maybe I can do it too, right? So, we appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you having me.
Like I said, congratulations on your 30 dedicated years to the United States Army.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on the platform. Like I said, it's your boy Smoke. All gas, no Monday. Live life like every day is Friday. And hey, I'm gone.